to chat briefly. I wanted to hop on really quickly because I want to do this more often, to be discussing with you three ways to develop your intuition and unify with your higher self so you can show up authentically and deliver what your true soul's divine agenda is calling forth. So as people start to to wake up on planet Earth, as this is happening at a more accelerated rate, more and more people know that they have something really, truly important and magnificent that they're calling forward and birthing through. And they're starting off businesses, they're entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and light leaders and visionary light leaders like you who are really here to make a global impact and really choosing to deliver something of magnificence that they know is really going to make an impact in the world and help them or you to leave a lasting legacy and make the contribution that you're here to make. If your soul, if with deep within you, you know that you have something so magnificent that you're bringing through and you want to make a greater impact and you really want to bring it out, and probably you've tried like a godzillion marketing programs and a godzillion strategies, and you've probably done lots and lots of really amazing Joe D workshops, and you probably have written or done a lot of vision boards and illumination boards, and you probably done a lot of envisioning. I want to do a whole thing on why visioning doesn't really work. You've probably listened to a lot of like Esther Hicks. You've done it all and you're still in some way struggling or trying to create one more new program or one more new, you're taking one more additional mastermind workshop and you're just probably struggling, right? Overworking, over delivering, or even if you're not struggling, you're like, maybe you're in the seven figures and you already know you've got something amazing and you're not struggling. And in that case, you're just looking for something deeper and richer and more rewarding and more fulfilling because you're doing great work in the world. But somewhere, some of that deep, rich fulfillment is still somewhere or somehow lacking. Well, if that's you, we're going to talk today about bringing forward more of your own higher self so that you can really, really deliver what the soul's agenda is, what you're meant to be delivering. And that doesn't mean if you're already running a multi-six or seven-figure business, if you're already doing the amazing and magnificent work that you're here to do, but you're looking for something deeper, or you want to 10x the results because you're starting to notice, yeah, there's like a godzillion people out there who are now starting to do what you're doing or what you've been doing, or you want to deliver greater results to your clients and your students, then working with your higher self is a major part of the solution. And working with your own intuition, developing greater intuition, because these days more and more people are learning how to use their intuition and becoming more aligned with their authentic voice. And if that's you, give me a shout out below. I'd love to hear from you. But what I'm suggesting here and saying is that your intuition can be further enhanced and developed, and the service that you're offering in the world will be exponentially improved as you work more and more congruently with your own, not only your higher self, but the divinity that you are, and really the intuition that's more than just, I'm kind of sensing, I'm kind of feeling, but it's coming through and flowing through you in an even bigger and greater way. So I just want to talk about some of that first and foremost. And let me know, leave in the comments if this resonates for you, if this is something you're looking to do in your life, in your business, in your career, if you're looking to bring in more authentically aligned connection with your higher self, more authentically aligned intuition that's not just sort of like guesswork, but is knowing, right? Developing your inner knowing, your divine certainty. That's what comes through working with the higher self. And that's what comes through when we unify with that higher self aspect. That's what comes through when we're not just using sort of guesswork intuition or my gut's telling me intuition. We're using like direct guidance, direct gnosis. And we can develop that, and it will enhance all of our gifts, talents, and abilities. It'll enhance and 10x what we're offering to our clients, our students, our community and the work that we do so that the impact that we're trying to make is 10x, like 100x, and the lasting legacy that we're trying to leave really, really starts to take shape and form in a way that creates and contributes to deep, deep fulfillment. Because that's my zone of genius, is the deep work beyond the surface level work. Because in truth, you can take another strategy development class, you can take another mastermind, a marketing class, you can do another retreat. But if you want to get to the really deep stuff, you're going to need a deeper level of authentic connection with your source. And that can only be achieved through a deeper level of metamorphosis, of transfiguration within your own self, within your own psyche, right? So you go beyond the surface level mindset shifting, you go beyond the surface level envisioning, meditation, you go beyond surface level, you know, meditative practice that can get you into a nice state of being, but really takes you next level depth of alignment. So let's talk about some of those ways, and let me know if this is resonating with you. I love hearing from you. Put comments in the chat and let me know that you're here, and let me know if this is making sense for you. It's always great. It's always great to share. That's why I'm here, to share and connect with you. So first and foremost, if you don't know how to actively and easily get into a theta brainwave state, you have to learn that. That is so important. And if you think that a theta brainwave state is something that you get in only to communicate telepathically with animals, or only to get psychic guidance, or only to communicate with loved ones who have crossed over, which the theta brainwave will help you do those things. But if you think that's the only time you get into it, think again. Because you can start living your life in a theta frequency. And most people really don't even understand this concept yet. And if you're a high level mentor, if you're, if you're one of those people in the world who is really a visionary and a light leader, who really truly wants to not only do your best work and deliver the best service that you can deliver, then learning how to live and be and live in an accelerated, elevated frequency brainwave. And when I say accelerated, it doesn't mean your brain moves faster. So for example, when someone's in an accelerated beta brainwave, this is how they're going to sound. And then go to this, and then you do this, and then do that. And while you're doing this, do 10x, do this, do that, do this, do this, and copy and paste this, and copy and paste that. And what you want to do then is get in touch with your avatar, and make sure you talk to your avatar, really, and give them these directions. That's how they talk, because they're an accelerated beta brainwave. And when you listen to them, if that's not your resonance, you'll get stressed. And by the way, you'll hear that on commercials too. You'll hear that on a commercial, big pharma commercial. May cause death, may cause suicide. Ask your doctor, call your doctor, ask your doctor. Now they're starting to change it and flip it so they can try to get you into an alpha brainwave. They play with that too. When you're in an alpha brainwave, it'll sound like this. And then you might want to go and play some music and live your life lovely. This is a very passive brainwave. It doesn't take really a lot of action, but it's an important brainwave, and it relaxes you. Relaxes you and makes you feel calm, and makes you feel claret and clear, and gives you butterflies and rainbows, and makes you think that everything's fine, but you don't have to take any action. So when it's coupled beta and alpha, it'll make you take action and make you think that it's the right action to take. It's not until you learn how to live in a theta brainwave, live in a theta, where the accelerated brainwave process will allow you to get instant knowing, instant information, instant consciousness at an instantly rapid rate, at an accelerated peaceful rate. Deep inner peace, deep inner grace. So that then when you're working with clients or students, or you're working on your project, or you're creating something new, even if you're interacting with some kind of AI program, the frequency that you're interacting at is going to be delivering to you much more of what you need to bring through at a higher, purer bandwidth that is more aligned with what your soul, the truth of who you are, is truly here to deliver. It won't be coming from the beta brainwave that's trying to figure everything out. It'll be coming from a higher level of consciousness that already knows. So that is the first thing. And of course, needless to say, that is something we do all the time in all my programs, the Sacred Visionary Mentorship. I teach it in my Psychic Development class. I teach it in my Animal Communication and Telepathy class. Learning how to not only access the theta brainwave, but to know when you're in it, when you're not in it, how to get in and out of it very quickly, and ultimately how to stay in it. And it will eventually, over time, enable you eventually with other practices to get into a gamma brainwave, which is a whole other conversation. All right, so that's the first way. Second way that you absolutely got to do so that you can start more and more unifying with your own intuition and your own higher self. And I promise you, it's not what you think it is. It is about working with the brain. It's true. Because right now, humans have been deeply, we call this a schism, to consciously use primarily the left analytical brain, the analytical part of the brain that is associated with the beta brainwave, and it is the thinking, doing brain, and it's an important brain. It's also highly associated with the reptilian brain, right? And so that reptilian brain, part of the brain, it's just in almost always in a fight, flight, or a low grade fight, flight kind of mentality, is trying to figure things out, and oftentimes it's very reactive. In order to use more of your higher intelligence and your intuition, you must not only develop more of the right brain capacity to utilize that in a conscious way, not just an unconscious way, which, because of course the right brain's there, it's available to you, just we're using it in an unconscious way. We must also learn to unify, sorry, let me say this, work more and more with the cerebral cortex and the prefrontal cortex. And these parts of the brain we're not using as consciously. So the prefrontal cortex is allowing us to perceive more future casting for our lives, for our future, the direction we're going in, and what we're truly meant to go or lead ourselves into, and how we're meant to lead others, because we are visionary leaders. So as visionary leaders, we're meant to be able to lead ourselves, lead our community, and ultimately lead the world. However it is in our unique little corner of the world, whatever and however, we're truly meant to lead. So as you utilize that more and more, you're going to be a better leader for yourself and for others. So that's the prefrontal cortex. Now, also, you need to learn how to utilize in a more conscious way your cerebral cortex. So the cerebral cortex is separating the left brain and the right brain, in a sense, dividing them, and in a sense, from an unconscious perspective, they're operating independently. It's not really true. Of course, it's not true. And it's not the whole truth. But to a degree, it's almost like we've been believing and behaving as if we're operating from left brain and or right brain. Like when we're painting, we're operating from, or when we're listening to music, or when we're in feminine energy, or when we're using our intuition. But really, it's the cerebral cortex that develops the capacity for both hemispheres of the brain to operate collectively together in a unified way. So I don't really know if science knows this. I just know that intuition-wise, I've been learning it, and by working with energy, I know that it's true. So there are practices that we can use to further develop these parts of the brain and be utilizing more of our brain fully, wholly, and completely together. We also, this is number 3, the third thing, because as we do this, we are not only utilizing more of our capacity, but we're utilizing more of our capacity in a way that is easy and graceful and enjoyable, and that will allow us to fulfill more of what we're here to fulfill, and to experience more of the deep, rewarding fulfillment that we're looking for, because more of our capacities are actively engaged and that we're utilizing them more fully, wholly, and completely. Okay, the other part that we need to be working on, and this is 3, and then I'll give you 4 as well before I wrap, is that we need to be working more fully, wholly, and completely with clearing out parts of the brain that are storing up fear-based programs that includes anxiety, worry, doubt, shame, grief, sorrow, regret. It's not that those things haven't served us, they serve in some way, but they're really not meant to continue on our journey with us as we are evolving and up leveling. So, clearing out that part of our brain, those parts of our brain, and I don't think science knows that we can do this yet, but it will at some point start to realize this. But this is a healing, energetically meditative, deep work practice. So we can clear out, and by the way, this is some of the stuff that's identified as the ego in, like the older spiritual teachers that are not as current. They just don't know this stuff, but they taught what the ego is, and they taught you to believe that you have an ego, but in fact, it's just inertia. It's just stuff that's been accumulating in your brain that can be cleared out. And this is, stuff that's in the amygdala and stuff in the hippocampus. So you have to learn how to clear that out for yourself. And nobody can do that for you. Nobody. I mean, people can help you with it. As an energy worker, I can help you with it. I can clear some of it out with you. But of course, you're living with that brain and the thoughts that are thinking and the beliefs that you have and the fears and the worries and the doubts and the anxieties and the frustrations and whatever it is that you think or perceive is blocking you or limiting you or even stopping you from the deep level of fulfillment that you're looking for, and that you have to bring forward, and that you want to share and offer in the world. Those things are stored in those parts of the brain, and they can be cleared out. And it's not something that the average person knows how to do. It's not something that spiritual teachers from the old school teachings know how to do, because they were primarily operating from the same parts of the brain hemispheres that you've been. So that's not available in the market right now. Okay, I'm going to give you a fourth thing, because as you clear that stuff out, what happens is your consciousness becomes entirely free, clear, and liberated, expunged of the stuff that you were unconscious of that was limiting you and making you operate like slave driver, making you go into those stages of burnout or overwork or overdrive, making you over deliver and under receive, living any form of imbalanced life, trying so hard to accomplish something or achieve something that seems somehow out of reach. Or, on the other hand, doing all the work, getting the great results, achieving the 6 and 7 figures, multi six, 7 figures, even 8 figures, but still lacking some deep kind of fulfillment or deeper reward within you that is available, and lacking some connection with your source. And you, in that case, might not even be able to put your finger on exactly what it is, because you've got it all. I mean, you've got it all, right? If you're in that kind of a boat, you've got it all. You're already living that rich, abundant life in the physical world, and you've been able to skate by for a while now, and yet something is calling, something deeper. That's what I'm talking about. You clear this stuff out. You get expunged from the lower densities, the heavinesses that are blocking and or limiting you from feeling that deeply, richly rewarding life. And you're free from the heaviness that you've just thought was normal. Even if you're a very successful person and maybe you interact with other healers and coaches and mentors and guides on a regular basis, chances are you do. And you're still wondering, like, why, what's missing, even though you've done all that work. It's because you haven't cleared that stuff out. All right, so the fourth thing, and this is maybe one of the most important things, so they're all equally important, and this is very progressive information, right? This is pretty advanced. The fourth thing is in coming into the awareness that your heart center has brain matter, and this is not like woo-woo. There is real brain matter in the heart center, and the heart center brain matter needs to be developed. And the reason is because the brain matter in the heart center, and of course this is scientifically valid, like Institute of Heart Math is already documenting this, lots of other scientific teachers are documenting this. But as the brain matter in the heart center is cultivated and built up, that brain matter teaches you how to feel. It literally knows how to feel more loved, more loving, more cared for, more nurtured, more accepted, more valuable, more whole and complete. And this is something that is not learned through the brain. It can never be learned through the brain, but it can be learned through the brain matter in the heart, because it is the experience associated with those kinds of experiences. Feeling loved and accepted, feeling known, seen, heard, acknowledged, recognized, and experiencing those things, feeling in the certainty of your experience, of your union with your source, feeling that divine certainty, feeling that divine clarity, knowing and experiencing yourself as so wholly and completely loved and accepted and nurtured, fulfilled, deeply fulfilled. And then you add that and share that in the world to your community at a whole new level. And you may be a marketing or business coach for, but when you start to offer that to your community, they're feeling it too. It strengthens the bond between you and your tribe. It strengthens the connection. It builds not only the authentic connection between you and others, because the heart center is a magnetic space. It's magnetic energy. It makes you more magnetic. It attracts magnetism with you, to you, in you, through you. And then the people in your community feel that too. And that, as a business entrepreneur, solopreneur, that just creates more longevity for lasting relationships. And not just as a business entrepreneur, as someone who wants to connect with more people and have greater community and greater connection, better, more richly rewarding relationships, and maybe even, you know, lasting fulfillment and connection with a love partner, a spouse, children. It develops and cultivates the relationship in a deeper way with those you love, those you care about, those you serve, those in your community. So, listen, I hope this has been helpful to you. I'm going to sum up those 4 ways again. Number 1, you must learn. If you really, really want to really up level what you're offering, if you really, really, really want to deliver the work that you're here to deliver, to make the global impact you came here to make, to 10x your work, your business, your service you're offering. It's not about another strategy, another marketing tool. It's not even about another program, another vision board. It's not about a new mindset shift. No, that stuff, you're just working on a lower frequency. You're raising your vibe to such a level that you become a new person by this kind of work. So number 1, you have to learn how to live in the theta brainwave, not in the beta, which most humans are, which is why they're full of anxiety, worry, fear, doubt, etc. Not in the alpha, which is the love and light community, la-di-da, then they take no action, they go nowhere, they accomplish nothing. No, you have to learn how to live in the theta brainwave. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to learn how to more fully develop and utilize in a conscious way the prefrontal cortex, the various parts of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the cerebral cortex, and yes, the right brain too, and how to unify and harmonize the various parts of the brain so that they're working consciously for you in unity with your consciousness and your own higher self, all together as one. Not as one brain, but in a way that is healthy, right, and appropriate for you, so that you can bring forward your most benevolent best, so you can bring forward what you're here to bring forward in a whole new way. Number 3, you need to clear out those parts of the brain that are still storing up energetic blocks and discord, disharmony within yourself, fears, worries, doubts, anxieties, frustrations, etc., shame, blame, etc. And that is what we're talking about, clearing out the amygdala, the amygdalae, and clearing out the hippocampus. That cannot be done through some kind of technology. That is human spiritual alignment, higher self-alignment. And as you do this, you will cultivate, strengthen, and develop your relationship with your higher self beyond your wildest expectations, with your intuition, your divine knowing, unity with your source. Okay, and finally, we need to develop, really develop the brain matter in the heart. We could also add a fifth one, and that is to strengthen and develop the brain matter in the gut. However, that said, you know, that's more associated with what you put into your body and how you clear out what you clear out of your body. So the gut brain is still a function of your physical earthly experience, while these other parts are a functioning of your higher self aspects. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed this. If it does ring true, please share it with others. Sharing is caring. And please drop comments in below, because comments are a way also of caring. Sharing is caring, commenting is sharing, and it helps me know. And please let me know, DM me, or let me know whatever else you would like to know more of, because I would be happy to share more with you about how you can more fully, wholly, and completely make the global impact you're here to make. Bring forward the best service that you're here to deliver, and share with the world what you uniquely are here to share by awakening the dormant potential within you. And this is part of how we do that. So I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for sharing and participating on this day. Drop me a comment in below. Let me know how you liked this. Stay in touch with me. Share with me over at give me a DM. Let me know what else you want to hear about, so I can share more for you on this channel. And above all, sharing is caring. So share comments, feedback, and share the video as well. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to sign off for now. I'm sending you so much love. I hope this has been helpful to you. And as always, I am wishing you your most benevolent best on your life path and on your journey. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.